Hey guys, before I even start, I just want to say this story means a lot to me. If you're listening right now, thank you. It really helps me keep going when you stick around, so please, it would mean the world if you stay with me all the way through. The old church bell rang loud that Sunday morning. The sound rolled through the small town like thunder, bouncing off houses, sliding down empty streets, filling the air with something heavy and holy. 12-year-old Elijah sat on the back steps of the church, staring at the dust on his sneakers. His Bible was in his lap, but it was closed. He hadn't opened it in weeks. Why should I? He muttered to himself. God's not listening anyway. The doors of the church creaked open. People filed out, shaking hands, smiling. Elijah's mom came searching for him, her head wrapped in a blue scarf, her eyes red from crying through the whole service. She spotted him and sighed. Elijah, she whispered, please come inside next week. Don't do this outside alone. But he didn't move. He didn't even look at her. He just kept staring at the ground. Because Elijah wasn't sure if he even believed anymore. His dad had been in the hospital for 3 months now. Lung cancer. The doctor said things were getting worse. The family had prayed. The church had prayed. Even strangers from other towns sent letters saying they were praying. But nothing changed. His dad just kept getting weaker. And Elijah hated it. He hated walking into that cold, white hospital and seeing tubes everywhere. He hated the way his dad's voice sounded so small. He hated how his mom tried to smile when she was really breaking apart inside. So that night, when Elijah knelt by his bed like he used to, the words came out like fire. God, are you even there? Do you even care? Is there a reason for all this pain? The room was silent. No voice spoke back, just the sound of his own breathing and the faint buzz of a streetlight outside his window. Elijah threw the blanket over his head and clenched his fists. He didn't want to pray anymore. He didn't want to believe anymore. The next morning, his best friend Jordan came running up the sidewalk. Jordan was loud, wild, always full of ideas. But that day, his voice carried something different. Elijah, bro, you won't believe this, Jordan said, grabbing his arm. There's a fire down by the abandoned mill. A fire? Elijah asked. Yeah, come on, let's go see before the cops block it off. Normally, Elijah wouldn't care, but something in his chest stirred. Maybe it was the thought of action, of distraction from the pain. He followed Jordan. When they got there, smoke was curling into the sky, black and angry. Flames licked out of the broken windows, and the sound of sirens screamed closer. People stood in the street, pointing, yelling. Elijah stood frozen. He should have turned back. But then he heard it, a scream. It was faint, but real, a child's cry. Jordan, Elijah gasped. Someone's in there. Jordan's eyes went wide. No way, man. That place is burning down. We gotta stay back. But Elijah couldn't. His feet started moving before his brain caught up. He sprinted toward the building, his lungs filling with smoke. Elijah, Jordan shouted, but he didn't stop. Inside, the heat was unbearable. Wood cracked and snapped like gunshots. The smoke burned his eyes, but he kept going, following the sound of the crying. And then he saw her. A little girl, maybe 6 years old, trapped under a fallen beam. Her face was streaked with soot, her hands clawing at the floor. Elijah dropped to his knees. It's okay, I'm gonna help you. He pushed against the beam, straining with all his strength. It didn't budge, his arms shook, his chest screamed for air. God, he whispered without thinking. Please, help me. And something shifted. The beam moved. Just enough for him to drag the girl out. He scooped her into his arms and ran, coughing, stumbling, his vision blurring. Flames roared all around, chasing him like wild beasts. But somehow, he burst through the door just as the roof collapsed behind him. The crowd cheered. Paramedics rushed forward. The girl was alive. Elijah collapsed on the pavement, gasping, his whole body trembling. Jordan knelt beside him, eyes wide with shock. Dude, you just saved her life. Elijah didn't answer. He just stared at the sky, smoke stinging his eyes, his chest heaving. And in that broken, burning moment, a thought whispered through his heart. Maybe God had been listening after all. That night, Elijah sat by his father's hospital bed. His dad looked weaker than ever, but his eyes were open, soft and proud. I heard what you did, his dad rasped. Son, you were brave. Elijah swallowed hard. Dad, I didn't do it alone. His father's hand trembled as it squeezed Elijah's. Never forget, he's with you, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. Elijah wanted to believe him. He wanted to hold on to those words. But deep inside, the question still burned. Is there really a reason for all this pain? And he didn't know the answer yet, but something was changing. Hey, if you're still with me, thank you. Sharing this story with you means more than I can explain. If it touched you even a little, stick around. I've got so much more to tell, and trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next.